And the next guy that I'm going to bring up is a dear friend of mine, another amazing Millionaire Mastermind group member, top marketer, top producer. This guy needs no introduction. He's a great guy, Mr. Michael Force. What's up, buddy?
Awesome stuff, Greg. Thanks. Go kill some fish. Well, everyone, they wanted me to come out here and share a couple of things with you. I think there's been a common theme that you probably noticed today. We've been talking about a lot of non-Google stuff. I think you probably got a sense of that. And I want to talk a little bit about getting back on Google. I want to talk a little bit about content and why search engines are so important, and some of the projects that I've been working on, some of the things that I've been doing that has been helping my team. And I'm about to launch here in about a little less than a week, and you're going to see it everywhere, and it's going to bring a lot of value to the entire community, because I think that it's where everything's going and has been going for a while. The Make Money offer is dead. It's about education. It's about curriculum, as Jay and Aaron said. It's changing. A lot of things are changing. You kind of have to be on the cutting edge. You have to be able to see and feel these trends and things that are changing the marketplace, because the internet does not stand still for a single second and for no one. So you always have to be adapting and changing. So let's jump right into it. First and foremost, creating unique and niche content is one thing that I have been focusing on for the last, well, since I got Google disabled on November 27th, which I remember very vividly, as I'm sure you all do, for those who have been. But I went right to work. Like many of you heard on my conference calls and webinars, I went right to work, and I went to figure out how I could get back on Google, what Google wants. I mean, we all kind of knew, but we all kept avoiding it because we kept, using the Make Money offer, kept making sales. So if it wasn't broke, don't fix it. But something's broken now, so it's time to fix it. And that's what I went to work to do. So what I've been doing here, and what I suggest you all do, is start creating some multiple niche blogs for different categories. I targeted 10 different categories. The main ones: home business, MLM. I go after small business, franchise business. I go after all kinds of niches, always finding something. Internet marketing, all these different niches I went after. I built a blog for every single one of them. I write a blog post. I actually have someone who does this. Obviously, when you can afford to do so, you're going to want to do that. But if you're in the beginning, you're going to want to be writing all these things yourself and building as much content on the internet as humanly possible, unique content. Write one article a day, one blog post a day, do one video a day, and just keep on doing it. Understand that this stuff is going to accumulate. But when you're doing this stuff, make sure that you are offering value. You kept hearing value-driven. You kept hearing Juan Walker talking about doing things. He's showing a little bit of training. He's not giving away the farm, but he's giving a little taste. He's giving a little bit of that carrot to pull them in a little bit. So make sure that you're doing that. Start solving problems, being unique. Create a voice. Find your own voice. Don't try to be Juan Walker. Don't try to be me. Be yourself. Talk about what you're passionate about, what excites you. And you'll find that you're going to get a lot of results. Use metaphors, all the other things I hear. Create stories, entertain, educate. You saw Greg, a great entertainer, and he tracks people from all walks of life. I mean, he has a huge team as well. So make sure that you're doing all of that. Like I always say, there's a million ways to $1 million. Just find your way, and you'll get there. Educate, always part of it, and obviously distribute via the channels, Google, all the search engines, Yahoo, Bing, YouTube, all the free ones out there in the beginning until you start getting some sales and rolling, and then you can get into bigger things, maybe CPA, maybe radio, like they were saying, have your own TV shows. You can do all this stuff down the line. But in the beginning, start with the things that are free, places where you can get SEO'd. We had a great SEO training today, so make sure that you're doing all of those little things. And one of the things that really hit me today that I remembered, and I actually had this in my slide, is what Fernie was saying, is that people share content. They don't share capture pages. So think about that. They're not going to say, oh, I saw this amazing headline and this, crazy guy swimming with the sharks, right? I mean, maybe they would in Greg's case, but, content, something, solving a problem, educating them, finding a solution to whatever pain or thing they're looking for. And you'll find yourself getting a lot of followers. That's actually where I'm moving toward. Create unique video content. This piggybacks off of unique content as well. We all see all top marketers do it. You see Mike Dillard, you see Frank Kern, you see Ryan Dice doing all these little video trainings, right? These little PowerPoint video trainings that you do. With all of the curriculum and everything that we have in the back office, not as much as these guys, but you're on your way to learning as much as these guys. So start taking some of that knowledge, start taking some of that education and saying, I know how to monetize Twitter. So I'm going to show you 2 to 3 minutes and 2 to 3 slides on how to do that. And you'll pull people in. More people want to learn this industry and this skill set than any other industry that I have ever seen. More people are excited about social media and monetizing the internet, leverage, time, all of these kind of things. Business running 24/7 to the largest market, 1.5 billion people all over the planet. I mean, you just don't get that in traditional business. So make sure you capitalize on it. Start training, start teaching people. But again, don't give everything away. Give things in little bites. So you pull people in a little bit, give them a little bit more, just like Juan was saying. Always be creative. Seek and find a different spin on things. If you see something out there, don't just cut and paste it or copy and do the exact same thing. Make it your own voice, make it your own, and law of attraction will do the rest, and you'll attract people to your business. And always be passionate about everything that you do. Be excited, be pumped. I mean, when I do webinars, I'm so excited and so pumped about what I'm training and what I'm teaching, or when I do a sales presentation, every phone call that I do, anytime that I'm on the phone and I'm having a conversation about this business model, I am on my feet and I'm practically screaming through the phone. I know it doesn't sound like it on my webinars. Everybody tells me that I sound like I'm half asleep, but I'm trying to yell. I feel like I'm being passionate, but I guess I just have one of those lower tone voices. But so yeah, do all of that. Just give them a taste. That's all going to gain credibility. That's all going to get you to be that expert. And what do? People want to learn from experts. People want to follow leaders. People want to follow people that have something that they want. So be that person, and you'll find yourself to be much more effective in your marketing. Content ideas, obviously research all the most profitable keywords, which most of you already know what they are, and if you don't, you can find most of them in the back office. You can always go after new niches, always follow trends, always building new ad groups, always building, writing new articles, always finding new niches that you can go after and capitalize on. They're out there. That's one of the great things that I love about this business, is that if I sold vitamins all day, I'd have to target everybody who only wants vitamins. Where it's a product line, whatever your product line is, and it's also an education. So everybody wants that. Everybody wants a make money opportunity mixed with an education. So you can go after niches for decades. That's one of the powerful things about this model. Visit popular. People always ask me, where should I get some ideas? Where should I get some really good stuff for content? I'm looking for content. Everyone in this room goes after it every single day. You're all on CNN.com every day. You're all on MSNBC.com every day. You're all on the most popular blog sites. You're all looking at business.com and about.com, and you're all running around all these sites. It's all right in front of you. Take that content and that information and apply it in a smaller form and tell it in your own way with your own spin and story on it. But don't cut and paste. Never cut and paste, because that's not what the search engines want. That's not what is going to serve you, because if somebody sees, oh, this guy just regurgitated, and cut and pasted someone else's stuff, I mean, it's not going to serve you. I mean, we're called carbon copy, but, I don't want you to carbon copy exactly everything that we do. We want you to copy the strategy. We want you to copy, the idea of what we're trying to do. Make it your own. Search Google for these things, Google Trends. You can go to Alexa and find trends. You can do things like that and see what's popular out there, what's gaining momentum on the internet, things like that. So sites to create unique content. Hopefully you can read some of that. There's a lot of them out there. You can go and find places where all these little sites are. I mean, you can see all of them, Netlog, you can go to Photolog. You can just type in popular, content sites, and you'll probably get the same list somewhere. So make sure that you're going out there and seeing where you can add content, where you can add value. Obviously, the big ones are like YouTube, things like that. So, but there's a lot more. There's a lot of social media sites. There's a lot of places where you can put content and capitalize on people who are just surfing the internet. So be there. Be where they are. And you'll find yourself getting a lot of traffic. Again, don't cut and paste. Outsource to leverage your time. There's a lot of great places. It depends on the outsourcing. There's certain things that I don't outsource, like article writing. I won't go to the Philippines or India for that kind of outsourcing, because it depends on your demographic or the market that you're targeting. I mean, if you're targeting, the US, for example, you want to make sure that somebody who's writing your articles relates to that culture, talks their language, is articulate in that verbiage, et cetera. So you definitely want to make sure that there's certain things that you outsource to certain places. And it's not always about going for the lowest bidder either. Be conscious of that. The lowest bidder does not always get you the best results. Go on, all the different outsourcing sites that you see out there, and you can find all kinds of people to do all kinds of things for you. I mean, if you want to have them write articles, if you want to have them write press releases, if you want to have them write blog posts, if you want to have them write Twitter, all the things that we teach you how to do, there's someone out there that will do it for you if you have the budget. Always be creating unique, relevant, and transparent content. Be consistent, because understand that if you create one video today, 365 days from now, 1 year from now, you have 365 videos. 365 videos drives a lot more traffic than one. So don't do 5 and say, oh, I'm going to give up, forget it. I didn't get very many leads. Just keep on doing it. Think about your jobs. Think about your businesses that you used to have before. Cumulatively, you worked 2,000 hours, I think it is, the average employee works. So put in 2,000 hours into your marketing, and I guarantee that you'll get results. Example of a unique content. This is the solution that I have been working on for the last 3 months, theforcereport.com. It is a 1 main blog site, 10 subdomain niche blog sites. It's over 2,500 pages right now. There's over 200 reviews in there right now for not only franchises, but also for MLM companies. There's over 50 posts a week that are going on to this. 10 different profitable niches, as I described, growing and continually growing. We're going to add a new niche about every quarter. All kinds of relevant ebooks and reports. Remember, Juan was talking about if you got to do a report to gain credibility, to gain that expert status. When people land on this, they're going to hover around you. They're going to be around you, and you're going to build your value long before you ever talk to them on the phone. So what do you think happens when you talk to them on the phone? They're like, oh, you're Michael Force, and they're very excited to work with you because you've already established your credibility, your expert status. And now this is not just for me, because this is actually already humming along right now at about 50 to 100 leads a day just from one SEO site out of the 10 that we already SEO'd. Backlinking, everything's coming in every single day, but it grows over time. So it's going to end up being probably 15,000 to 20,000 leads a month. And so we're going to end up funneling that into my co-op and people on my team below me, below Jay. So if you're L1 or higher, you're going to get access to these leads that come through here, which are going to be some of the highest quality leads on the internet. I want to go over real quickly team building. I got about 7 minutes left. I wanted to basically go over team building, better team building. I talked a little bit about this. For those of you who weren't at the M2, I got some good feedback, so I wanted to touch on it real quickly. This is one thing that I have found very effective on my team, is creating a team synergy list. It's a contact list for your team. Now, even if you only have 5 people or you have 500, it doesn't matter. Get those people together. They're going to find common ground. They're going to connect based on their backgrounds, based on relatability, and all the different variables that go beyond that. They're going to find running buddies. They're going to find partners. Allow them to share. Allow them to learn from each other. I bring out people who are getting results on my Synergy Saturdays that I do every single Saturday, and they come out and they share what's working for them, just like Juan Walker did, just like Lena Borjana did. I mean, do all these trainings for your team. Start giving them some value. I've had a Synergy team list for probably about a year now, and it's been incredibly effective. People have built all kinds of relationships. You find that people are even in their own hometowns. People are in their own same counties, and they get together, and they have weekly meetings, and it's amazing, the synergy. Don't be selfish. Don't just say, it's my team. Don't go near them. Let go of the ego, and just, let people collaborate. Let people connect, and you're going to find that your team is going to be much more effective. Enforce, obviously, zero tolerance when it comes to cross-recruiting, pitching, and negativity. I just blatantly don't put up with that. Anybody says anything negative on my team, I don't relate on any level. Any complaining, any boo-hoos, poor me's. It just doesn't happen on my team, and I don't tolerate it at all. So I never hear it, and no one on my team hears it. So 80-20 rule. Reality of the world, folks. This is the universe. You can't go against these numbers. 20% of your team is going to do 80% of your check. Bottom line, 80% of your team is going to do absolutely nothing. So accept it. Don't take responsibility for it. It has nothing to do with you as an individual. It has to do with them, and they just like to watch American Idol. I mean, what can you say? So, it's just... bottom line is, it's not your responsibility. There's only so many people you can help. There's only so many people that you can do. And help the ones that want help. Help the ones that are willing to get out there and do something. Why would you want to work with someone who wants to sit on the couch all day? I mean, that's such a waste of your time. Well, focus on the people who are excited. All of you are the 20% in this room, and you all know it. So understand that they have to hold themselves accountable, and they're ultimately responsible for their own success. And I only ever train the 1% on my team. One-on-one. Everything else is on a webinar, everything else is on a conference call. I only can take, there's only so many hours in the day, only take time for that 1% who's on your team, one-on-one. And you are going to find that that creates the kind of duplication that you're looking for, because, again, wasting time with someone who really doesn't care about this business, or really isn't very interested, or is busy in another business, or is distracted by 100 shiny balls that are, whipping around the room, just skip all that and focus on the people that are getting results on your team. Synergy Saturday trainings is something that I have done to help my team, help each other, find leaders. I have people come on that Saturday and they help train other people when they're getting results. So do that, do some of that stuff for your team as well. Allow them, develop them. Say, hey, you know what, you're doing a great job, you're getting results. I want you to come out. People go crazy for this stuff. They love it. They want it, oh my gosh, I get to come out, there's 500 people on this webinar and I'm actually gonna train. It's part of the development. It's part of the excitement of being, developing leaders. Encourage multiple weekly trainings, which I already talked about. People do it in small groups if you can find them locally, so make sure that you're doing that. I always prefer to do them on a weekend. I have my highest call counts on the weekends because people usually are in another job or they're in another business. So make sure that, or they're trying to work their way into this business. So make sure you do it when it's convenient for them. I did it for a long time on Sundays, but now I do it on Saturdays. Again, have them bring their ideas. Create synergy for your team to leverage your time training. Again, what I just talked about, focusing on that 1%. Because there's just not enough time in the day to go around and chase people who aren't going to build this business. So delegate, develop, and duplicate, which I kind of already went over. Use synergy ad dollars. This has been an interesting test for me over the last 90 days, and I think that you'll find it effective for yourself, and I'll give you some insight on what I've experienced with my co-op in the last 90 days. I think it's going to be effective because not everybody has huge teams right now, but you're in development, you're building teams, maybe you have 5, 10, 15, 20 people. Start creating little mini pools of ad dollars, pulling your ad dollars to get more ad spend. Maybe you can get a full-page magazine. Maybe you can get a little radio ad. Maybe you can pool your resources into a PPC account or something like that. And you're going to find that you're going to get a little bit more leverage from those, from being able to pool those ad dollars. I mean, many people only have, maybe if you only have $500 a month, but the rest of your team has $50,000 a month that they can spend combined, you're going to get a lot more access to bigger media buys, and you're going to find yourself to get better leads. So if you can't do it yourself, reach up to your team leader and push them to do it. Pool ad dollars to lower cost and create consistency. You should obviously have restrictions. This is something that I've learned to ensure a marketing mix and not to enable. Had some detailed conversations with Jay and Aaron. We're not here to enable anybody. We're not here just to give you leads while you sit on the couch and we do everything for you. We want to create master marketers. We want to create real, true entrepreneurs. We want people who are going to be able to write their paycheck for life. Those are the people that we want. That's what we're here to teach you. That's what we're here to do. And we want to make sure that we're doing that. We're not just feeding you leads and you're taking a nap. We want to make sure you're learning this business. So that's one of the things. You got to put certain restrictions. Make sure less than 50% of leads and stuff is coming through. Leads. This is the last bullet point that I'll touch on, and then my time's up here. I got about less than 2 minutes here. Leads only to emerging leaders, L1 and higher. When I first started my first co-op in January, it was only to my first 25 top leaders. And we had an amazing ROI. We had a huge return on investment. Everybody was making money. It was great. So I said, wow, this is exciting. Bigger is better, right? Wrong. We opened it up to 75 people in the second month, and the conversions went down. Because the leaders were still making money. The newbies weren't making money because they don't know necessarily the skill to have conversations, to articulate this business model, et cetera. So we are doing L1 or higher from now on. And I'm making this announcement here because I've already decided that that's what's going to happen. Any existing contracts that we have, we'll take out 90 days if any of you are in the co-op right now. But I recommend that you, if you do start your own mini co-ops, that you focus on L1s or higher. That's been my experience. Because you want to give people the chance to kind of catch up and really educate themselves, sharpen their teeth a little, get a little pain under their belt, earn their stripes a little to make sure that they're going to convert it when they actually really do get a lead. Because leads are a privilege. Leads are not easy to generate, and they should only be given to people who could convert them. So that is my presentation, and John Jackson, I think you're up next. Yeah?
welcome to Bernadette TV, online TV to help you be the best you can be in your business and your life. And today we're talking about traffic, specifically getting more traffic to your website. Are you the best kept secret in town? Do you have a beautiful website but no visitors? Is it more tumbleweed than stampede? Well, it's time to change all that, and today on Bernadette TV I want to show you the top 3 ways to get more traffic to your website starting today. If you want to get more traffic to your website, the first problem you face is that there is so much conflicting advice out there on the best way to do it. You've probably heard about pay-per-click advertising, Google Ads, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, article writing, blogging. What of all the opportunities out there are the things that you should be focusing on to get more traffic to your website? And the trouble is, if you're like most small business owners, there just aren't enough hours in the day to sift through all the different options and figure out which are going to be the best methods for you. It can feel like a full-time job just to generate more traffic to your website. So let's keep this simple. At the end of the day, there are only 3 ways to get more traffic to your website. You can either buy the traffic, you can borrow the traffic, or you can create the traffic. I'm going to take you through each of these in turn in reverse order so you can figure out which is the best one for you to focus on. So first of all, let's talk about creating traffic. This is normally the best thing to start out doing if you're new to your website, if you're really figuring out what you're selling and you need to test your price points and your conversion. And when you are creating traffic, what this means is you're probably going to have to put in more in terms of time and energy and creativity, but you're not going to be risking any hard-earned money to get more people to your website. So when it comes to creating traffic, what you're really doing is finding out where your target audience is already hanging out and then putting in place interesting little bits of baits and tidbits to encourage them back to your site. So for example, you could find an organization or a community where your target audiences hang out online and go and post a blog or a guest blog on that place, and then have an invitation for people to come back to your site. Or it could be that you do this offline. So maybe you'll go and give a free talk somewhere and then invite people to sign up for your tips and advice on your website. So when you are creating traffic, you definitely have to put more effort into getting the traffic to you. But this type of traffic is very targeted as long as you've really narrowed down who it is you're targeting and where they're hanging out. And the good news about this is it is going to take time and energy, but it's not going to cost you any money. Now, once you've started to do that, you can also then go on to continually drive traffic back to your website, which is what I did for the first 5 years, and it helped me generate $1 million plus business doing this. So after I'd created the traffic initially, I used email marketing to get people back to my site over and over and over and over. So it's not just creating a one-time visitor, it's about creating return visitors as well. And if you want to know more about how I used email marketing, check out this episode of Bernadette TV where I shared my email marketing secrets. So the next way that you can create traffic is you can borrow traffic. And what this means is you go and find people who've already developed a relationship with the people that you want to target, and you ask them to send them your way. This is also known as joint venture and affiliate marketing. Now, when you start out, a lot of people have questions about how this works, and you might be thinking, well, how on earth could I persuade someone who has a list to send those people over to my website? Well, it can be done, but you need to approach people in the right way. So first of all, this is the absolute no-no. Never, ever just approach someone with a list and say, hey, I'm launching this new product, will you promote it to your list? That's absolutely the worst way to approach a potential list owner. You want to approach them focusing on this. What's in it for them? And what your list owner is going to be looking for is either that your product is complementary and one that they would really be happy to endorse because it benefits their customers, and or that there's some type of financial payoff for them recommending it. Now, in an upcoming episode of Bernadette TV, I'm going to go into this in more detail, and I'm going to show you exactly the script that I use and how I approach joint venture partners. So if you're interested in that, you need to hit this button right here, subscribe, to make sure that you get access to that episode when it comes up. So that's how you borrow traffic. And then the final way that you can get traffic for your website is you can buy traffic. So this is where you do paid advertising. Now, the one that most people know about is Google AdWords. for generating paid traffic, pay-per-click advertising. These days, I get most of my paid traffic through Facebook. That's where I do my pay-per-click advertising. And the reason Facebook works better for me with my audience is I can target right down to demographics. So Facebook enables me to target women versus men, or a certain age group, or people with certain preferences. You can't do that with Google, because with Google, you can target people who are already looking for something. So the ad pops up after they've typed something into the search engine. Now, either one may be best, depending on the process that your client goes through as they are working through the process of thinking of becoming a client. So bottom line is, are you selling something that people know they need and are likely to come and type a question into a search engine to try and find it? Or is it that you're selling something where you maybe need to educate people that they need it, in which case the pay-per-click advertising that would probably work for you better would be something like Facebook, which is what I'm using. Now, that's not the only ads that you can use. You can do offline paid advertising to generate traffic to your website. You can also use something called solo ads, and this is where you would pay a list owner to send out an ad on your behalf. I've used most of them, but right now the one that's working best for me is the Facebook ads. So those are our three main ways of getting more traffic to your website. You can buy it, you can borrow it, or you can create it. What I would say about buying traffic is it's best to do that after you've tested out your conversion strategy and you know that when people come to your website, they're buying. If you don't know that yet, if you haven't had a chance to test out whether what you're offering is really working and something that people would buy, you're probably better off starting out with creating traffic to start with. So the three things are, you can buy traffic, you can borrow traffic, or you can create traffic. And now what I want you to do is think about which is going to be best for you, which is the right fit for where you are right now. I would love it if you would come and share that over on my blog, bernadettedoyle.com. And if you have a question about this, of course, come and submit that, and I'll be happy to answer it either on the blog or in an upcoming episode. And while you're there, I would really love it if you signed up to my email updates, because I've got so much more to share with you and would love to give you more tips and advice on what you can do to be better in your business and your life. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Bernadette TV. Come on, get in the car! Come on! Get in the car! Get in the car! Karen, in the car! For crying out loud! She won't come in because she's got no makeup on.